So there could be many ways. There is keyword blocking, there is looking at avoidance of certain pages, there is whitelist and blacklist confirmations, a number of solutions. And number 3, we are very proactive. What we try to do is that consumers they want information now, and they will go to any extent to find it. Now it's for the brands to respond in a very truthful and transparent manner. They want to remain competitive. So we work very closely with our brand partners in a very proactive manner. We conduct audits, and we are very vigilant in audits to ensure quality well in advance instead of firefighting. Having said that, these 3 solutions, we feel we're working with a lot of emerging startups in India. Artificial intelligence, is the problem, has been the problem, and that's how it's created this subversive falsehoods at scale, but also that's the solution. Only artificial intelligence at speed can fine-tune all the automated propaganda filters and address this problem exponentially for the industry. A couple of startups have AI chatbots today, which can filter fake news. There are chatbots where you can figure out fake reviews. So, like my panelists mentioned about reverse search, going to reverse search, looking at photos and videos, and actually matching them with the news in time. And also, they use NLP technology, which is natural language processing, to experiment. To sum up, I'd say that, digital is here to stay, and nobody can stay without leaving a digital trail. But and if there is a disruption or a media shift, it always will have the good and the bad. But we as consumers need to be very sure that the data that we give up every hour, every minute, trading for some benefits on the internet, they are fed into very complex algorithms, which can serve up as an ad or content to us. So while artificial intelligence can subvert this topic to a large extent, I think we are responsible for our own privacy and the spectrum of it. Thanks.
Thanks, Natasha. A lot of examples and points. 2 or 3 things struck me. One, the perspective from a brand and therefore fake news point of view. Second thing that's interesting is most of the fake news also have some pattern recognition to them. So the AI example was very nice, and if we could use AI very relevantly, could be a very big factor. But even in AI, people think in a certain way, and of late, there's a credibility of the social media platforms that really been going up. Is there some way we could use social to reduce this menace? And on that line, I'd like to bring in Sunil, the founder of Social Beat, to share with us his perspective on what from the social world, how could we counter this?
Thanks for that. I think we are short of time, so I'm not going to take too much time. But really interesting, my fellow panelists. I think one of the challenges, obviously, we are all on social media today, right? And what's worrying is also like a lot of the Chinese apps like TikTok and like are now starting to come and become massive in terms of hundreds of millions of daily active users in India. So to some extent, we are letting go of our user base to these Chinese and international platforms. And if they start spreading fake news about their countries or our countries, it's really a scary thought that happens for our country. I think, from our perspective as a digital agency, one interesting thing which Facebook has recently started a few months back was to see who's running a particular type of ad. So if you see a particular post on Facebook, today you can go and see who's running this ad. I can also go and see Manna Foods, for example. I can go and see Manna Foods' Facebook page and see what all ads they are running from their platform. So transparency from these social media platforms, I think on the news there is some Supreme Court guidelines saying WhatsApp should track who's the sender for a particular message. So some accountability for who's the sender for any particular message so that it's stamped. And if it is fake news, then some law and enforcing the law as well that if you're spreading fake news, then you're responsible and you can go behind bars. I think today that's really not there. Anyone and everyone, political parties, even corporates, I think both from the positive side and negative side, are more than happy to spread news, whatever they want in form of PR. So I think, there should be some enforceability saying that if you are spreading fake news, then you're liable to go behind bars. I think that I would suggest something on those lines. Though normally from a private sector, you don't want any government intervention. Please stay away times. But I think in these areas is where the government should actually take stronger stance.
Thanks, Sunil. We keep getting new perspectives. Yes, this fact about how do you regulate this thing? Should it be self-regulation by the broadcasters and the publishers? Should the government come into it? How do you educate consumers? So there's a lot of paraphernalia around fake news, which will need, some kind of organized thinking. Also, like to request now a very good perspective from Shira Murthy, the Hindu perspective on what are they doing, and it's such a large house. What are they doing to both prevent, identify, and do something fundamentally to manage this?
Yeah, in a way, we continue to do what we have been doing all these years, which is to sort of verify news before publishing. And I see in the digital space there have been a lot of other publishers who have taken a very different approach to news compared to their, their print of that. And they've been far more liberal with respect to how they treat news. We haven't shared any of our values when it comes to digital. So we continue to be one of those publishers for whom the accuracy of news and all these values matter a lot even now. We actually prefer to get it right rather than get it first, which is actually a disadvantage when it comes to the likes of Google and SEO and all that. But that's what we are willing to do in order to sort of make sure that the readers are not shortchanged and they're not fed with news which is innately wrong or sensational. Because I just want to step back a bit and look at what has changed in the last 10 years or 20 years, and you'd find that a lot of technology has come in. A lot of people who were never exposed to content have got exposed to content. A lot of people who have never exposed to having communications with each other have got communications, and they can now interact with each other. They can now comment on anything. They can now. There has been a sort of dilution of expertise in different fields, and including in news. So the biggest problem and the biggest casualty of disinformation is loss of lives. Is when people lose their lives over messages, over things, and these are essentially not spread by traditional media. And these are closed WhatsApp group messages, people being lynched on some rumors that they are child traffickers and all that. So this is a problem that's a societal problem, and I think the solution is long term, because I think people need to be aware of what technology brings into their lives. And as media houses, I think there is also a problem of disinformation, which is that there are deliberate plans and deliberate sort of stances that they have taken based on fake assumptions in news, which is also a problem. But I think the problem of fake news is far more universal than we can imagine. It belongs to each one of us, and there are millions of people in India who have been exposed to technology and its benefits and its problems in the last few years. They have had no exposure to it prior to this.
Thanks, Again, thought I liked was, the check that you kind of say you do is from providing information that people would, use to be influenced. It shouldn't shift to providing influencing information. And I love the way you put it, get it right, and rather than, being first, could be one of the first methods that's self-regulating from a broadcasting and publishing point of view. On that line, India is also a land of so many regional languages. Every state is different. We'd also like to bring in Suhas to give a regional perspective on the same. Karnataka, for example, and what is happening in the state, and how is the state responding to, because he talked about consequences of fake news, right? You just can't predict what could be the consequence. So what is the work you are doing, and what kind of perspective from a Karnataka region?
Hi, everybody. One thing, as far as the regional languages media is concerned, we all admit that fake news does exist. It has become a menace, and it not only limited to any state or any language, it applies to entire nation and entire world. We all admit. That is the best part of it, because first we have diagnosed the disease. As far as the regional language is concerned, there are few fact-checking platforms in India. But when we compare the ratio of fact-checking platforms with the magnitude in which the fake news is being generated every day or every minute, every passing minute, the ratio of fact-checking platforms is very, very, very less. And among the existing around 20-25 fact-checking platforms, except one or two from Hindi and Bengali, all other fact-checking platforms are in English. And the ratio in which fake news is being generated, when we compare that ratio with regional languages with English media generates very less fake news compared to regional languages. India is being such a diverse country, so many languages, and we all admit that. When Arnab was telling sometimes before that English media is going to, especially print, is going to shed very shortly, and vernacular language media will grow. The consumers largely from vernacular media, and unfortunately we don't have any fact-checking platforms in India. This is the need of the hour, I believe. And more importantly, as far as our Karnataka is concerned, or my own channel, Digvijay News, is concerned, they have all now admitted that this menace has to be fought. We keep on discussing in our editorial meetings. Just 3 days before, one seminar happened in Bangalore, Chennai West Consulate organized seminar. Few selected judges were invited, and the Digvijay News representative was there. We discussed a lot of things, and as Srinivasan sir rightly said, it needs just common sense. It needs just common sense to avoid the fake news. But one good thing, let me sound a little bit optimistic. One good thing is, in a platform like South Indian Media Summit, fake news is a subject being discussed, and we are discussing very loudly. This is a good thing, and I am sure it has begun. Well begun is half done. Let us hope in the coming days we will encounter this menace, we will stop this menace, we will minimize this menace. Whatever could be done, we all together will try to put an end to this. This is the existing 2025 fact-checking platforms. The unfortunate thing is they are also divided in right-wing fact-checking platforms, left-wing fact-checking platforms. They do check facts. That's right, but their focus, some fact-checking platforms focus will be only on right, and some fact-checking platforms focus will be only on left. This needs to be taught, and we have to be very analyzed.
Thanks, Suhas. I think again, very important fact. The fact-checking platforms, the big ones, are not regional. Don't have a regional language, skew. Very big point. And the second interesting point he made is, how can we stop it? One is in all forums, in all media forums, publisher forums, digital forums, agency forums, raise and talk about this issue because ideas will kind of keep flowing. Sorry, yeah.
Now, the mainstream media is picking social media content. Very often, every day we see mainstream media, especially electronic media, picking up the social media content. Social media content, when of course the fake news is not a new thing. It does exist before in the past, but after the advent of this social media, but even knowing all this very well, mainstream media, which is much more responsible media earlier. Now, we are also started behaving irresponsible. That is why, without checking the facts, we just take social media content and we run debate shows and we run all kind of things. All kind of things. Actually, the ideal situation should be otherwise. Social media should have picked up us, but it is not.
Correct. And especially in this user-generated content, you have this many people who are bringing you news. Suddenly, the old world have become suppliers.
Earlier consumers were just consumers. TV viewers and newspapers, they were just consumers. After the advent of the social media, they are not just consumers, they are also producers of the content. They are consumers. And there is no authenticity, there is no accountability.
Very, very valid point, Suhas. So, quickly, if I just... Sure.
One question for the audience as well, actually, like to your fact-checking websites, how many of us have used the fact-checking website? Like Boom Live or
News.
Show hands, like 7, 8 people in the audience, 8, 10, including the panelists. So obviously out of a few hundred, only 10 have used the fact-checking website. So I think, expecting the consumer in today's busy world where, you have so many things asking for your attention, for us to go and check a fact that I have not checked out. I just know I would go and see it once in a while, but I would never check a fact-checking website myself. So I think it comes down to the platform and the government regulating this.
So just to quick summary, 30 seconds, Mr. Srinivasan. If you want, what do you want publishers and broadcasters to do as action plan?
I think within the newsrooms, obviously we bring back the what we have been taught in journalism schools. We teach students. That's brought the basics, and that's enough for the newsroom.
Get back to basics
For the newsroom. And for the outside social media and others, I think there should be strict regulations. European countries, other countries are all doing very strict regulations. In India, we don't even have a proper data.
So newsroom back to basics, get regulations stronger. Yeah, Sunil, just quick perspective on what should, let's say, the regulatory or the Facebooks of the world do?
I think that we work closely with Facebook, but I think there should be a penalty if they don't invest in regulating fake news. Today there's no penalty for them. The stock prices keep going up. More news is there, more virality. There should be some penalty for them.
Sure. Sriram, how much should the media houses take this seriously and invest actually money behind preventing fake news?
Yeah, I think they will have to, because now people are, I mean, you'd have heard of the term deepfakes, which is sort of playing havoc in the video segment. So you can fix anybody's face to anybody's body and it'll look natural. So I think people's emotions are also being involved now, because I mean, any problematic content and you force them to act in a certain way, and some people will act in a certain way. So I think long term, I think it needs to be about education, about how these things matter, how you use media well, how you interact with others in a perfectly legal and ethical way. I think those are the things that will change. Technology will come and go, and new things will come, new benefits will come, and new problems will come. We'll have to take care of that. But I think it boils down to how journalists also act. I mean, the companies with strong codes, editorial values will deal with this much better. I'm not saying they won't make mistakes, they will. But I mean, even when we make mistakes, we are very transparent about it, both internally and to the reader.
Thanks. Natasha, from a brand and company's point of view and from a consumer point of view, is there any advice?
I would say bring together the logic and the magic. The magic of, it's a free era. The fact that people are the internet is that you feel free, you want to be there, and I think that's a great asset for consumers today. But bringing a lot of technology that addresses this menace exponentially alongside, I think that is.
Suhas, strongly you raised a lot of things about neutrality of the checking websites, language of it, and self-regulation. So, what would you see big changes in the regulatory framework coming on fake news? Would you advise somebody to make it stronger, self-regulation or government regulation?
Self-regulation. Self-regulation.
And you would like to make this stronger? How?
I agree. Two parts. First one is news should get back to basics, and regulation should be there. Regulation should be there, but it has to be self-regulation. And just I want to add one more point. This free data, cheap data. This is the main reason behind this. One of the main factors. That is why all this is happening. घर में आटा हो ना हो, मोबाइल में डाटा होना चाहिए. This should end.
Thank you. Lot of interesting thoughts. Just to put a final summary on it, there are points raised on reducing this menace. There is this talk about the media and the broadcasters self-regulating, maybe some other kind of regulation as well coming in. There is this thought about using technology to reduce the menace of fake news. There is this thought about social and community and educating both brands and consumers to reduce fake news. If there is a concentrated effort and amazing points have come through, more forums like this, I'm sure given that we'll only make the community a better place, all of us have a stake in reducing fake news. Thank you so much for all this. Love you.
Ladies and gentlemen, a nice big resounding round of applause for this fantastic panel. I'm curious to ask all of you, do your family members also forward news which says famous shoe brand, 70,000 free shoes? You've all got it, right? Your all family members are the same across India, alright? I take this opportunity to invite Mr. Navneet from The Hindu, who will present a memento to our panelists and our moderator. So can I please have you on stage? Can I have the mementos, please? photo. A nice photo op. Audience, you can do so much better than this. Come on. Fake news is an issue that we're all grappling. Thank you so much. Thank you very much, Mr. Nami.